Woo, we got a lot of crazy shit happening in the world today. One of which is that Asmongold got banned. I think it was like a temporary ban from Twitch for calling the entire Palestinian country inferior, like an inferior culture, which is a little bit ignorant in my mind because, you know, you can't peg an entire country of people as all being religious zealots, you know, and so therefore they were like, and they cut Asmon. So like, I don't know a lot about this. I just know like the basics, but I want to dive into this. Philip DeFranco is going to tell us about the situation so that we know what's going on. And then we're going to watch Asmongold talk about it on YouTube. So let's check this out.
It's another YouTuber, Twitch streamer that's out there apologizing, and that's a guy by the name of Asmongold. Because you've got tons of people pissed off at this guy, tons of people calling for him to be banned, and that's because during a live stream yesterday, he started talking about Israel and Palestine, and he said about Palestinians.
If you want to consider a genocide as
Hold on. Let's get above board here. Let's boom.
a systematic killing of a group of people, they have genocide built into Sharia law right now. So no, I'm not going to cry a fucking river when people who have genocide that's baked into their laws are getting genocided. I don't give a fuck. They're terrible people. These people are not your allies. They are not the same as us. They come from an inferior culture that is horrible. It kills people for their identity and is directly antithetical to everything Western values stand for.
In terms of the extremist religion, and the armies there that are being supported by these religions, that, you know, yes, that's been happening for years. That's been happening for, but to group the entire Palestinian people and say that every single Palestinian is that way, that's where it's a little bit ignorant in my mind.
And it is an inferior culture in all ways.
So
that is not, I don't agree with that. That is what I don't agree with.
Surprisingly, we have tons outraged online, people saying he's actively advocating for genocide, tons of people comparing his comments to Nazi rhetoric.
And then the internet completely blows it up. And, you know, like, you know, I would have to watch the whole stream to get the context exactly of what Asmon is getting across here. You
Bro,
know?
this is
Plus, you're talking about a dude that's, where is he? Living in Texas. He never leaves his home. He never talks to other people outdoors except for two of his friends where he has a podcast on. And everybody just comes to see him for his opinions. You know, no matter how outlandish they are or how right he is or how wrong he is. He's a dude who lives in his attic. He's alone, and he's in his house all single day, and every single person comes. But I gotta say, like, this dude in the bottom right, I think he's Palestinian, and I think this guy was very, very upset with Asmon, and even hopped on a call with Asmon.
Right up 1-to-1 what Nazi said about Jewish people, what, like, the most right-wing approach to this conversation. This is insane. I don't think he understands, like, how unimaginably fucked up this statement is.
And this, as others responded with things like, you live in the United States, skid mark. Genocide is actually baked into the laws of your own country. Happy Indigenous Peoples Day, you greasy fucking freak. As well as deserves to be perma-banned off Twitch for this. The level of moral depravity to say this shit, I don't even understand how it's possible. Right, and there are tons of people pointing to Twitch's terms of service that his comments may have broken, and others thinking that a Twitch ban isn't even enough in terms of repercussions. With people pointing to his OTK network and saying things like, if I were an OTK, I would leave the org so fast as long as he is one of the owners. Adding, I'm not crazy about deplatforming people, but we just watched a bunch of human beings get burned alive, and this miserable piece of shit is calling them inferior. Now, with all this, for his part, Asmongold actually ended up calling in to Hassan's stream and criticized him where they discussed all of this. With the conversation going a few hours long, going back and forth in the context of cultural values and what calling a culture inferior means. And so I'll link to the whole thing in the description. You had them saying things like,
You don't think that I support Israel, do you?
I don't, but I think
Okay,
that
good.
No, I don't think you support Israel, but I think you saying that like Palestinians are immoral or evil or have an evil, antiquated culture or are barbaric is not only ahistorical. What's up?
I do think that.
Yeah,
I mean,
I think you're wrong.
I don't know, man. Like, how can you be in support of a culture that tells people that they can't be who they want to be?
It's not defensible, but I think most people, including like the gay Palestinians or queer Palestinians or queer Lebanese people understand that there is no room for advocating for civil liberties in your own domestic policies when you are escaping bombings. But when you start talking about like inferior cultures, that sets up the opportunity for, historically at least, dehumanization. And also it justifies a lot of the atrocities that those people end up experiencing.
But then all of that leading to later that night, Asmongold walking back some of his original comments on X. Writing, looking back on it, I was way too much of an asshole about the Palestine thing. My bad. Of course, no one deserves to have their life destroyed even if they do things or have views I find regressive. You guys deserve more than me saying stupid shit like that. I'll do better. But given the situation, how things went down, not a ton of people are buying it. Right, among other things, saying he's only doing this to save face amid calls for him to get banned or removed.
Dude, I don't know much about the area. I don't know much about the people of Palestine. I've never been there. You know, the thing is like, how many of us really truly know the situation in Palestine? Like, let's be real about this shit. We're shown what Palestinian people are up to in the frame of people that are introducing us to their culture through the internet or legacy media. You know, nobody even really truly understands what it's like to live over there. Because in America, what's the percentage of people that ever have gone to Palestine? You know, I mean, there's a lot of people that don't have direct hands-on experience. Here's the thing. Have some direct hands-on experience. Talk with the people. Get down in there and talk to them. Where the fuck is that reporting at? Where the fuck are those people at? Let's get in there and talk to people, man. I don't even know what the fuck's going on over there right now. It's not being introduced to me. It's not being shown to me properly. There's not people down there on the ground talking to the citizens there. Like, no, I don't see that content.
Moved from OTK. Others saying the most reflection you can do is, quote, my bad. There's no sugarcoating this. You wholeheartedly agree with the principles of Nazism.
And these motherfuckers who all have these opinions about Asmongold, they don't know fucking shit too. A lot of these people, like this Fizz guy, seems like an anonymous account to me. There's plenty of anonymous. Here's my thing. If you want to have like an opinion about somebody, then be verified. Like, this is what X should do. This is what Elon should do. Separate the people that are willing to stand behind their opinions and what they say with like the verified check mark. These people are actually people. And then everybody else, anonymous accounts. Like, get people that are actually people that will stand behind what it is that they say and be accountable and responsible for their opinions, and put them a fucking check mark and these are real people. These aren't fucking bots. These aren't just anonymous trolls. And then have the anonymous people and separate the two. Like, let us see the real people from just like the anonymous fucking bullshit. That's exactly what X should start doing.
Log off. Also, going back to that note on people calling for him to get banned, actually, as I was recording today's show, he got banned from Twitch. Though notably, one, it was described as a temporary ban, and two, it was the specific Zach Rohr channel, and Asmongold has several channels on Twitch. And so as the situation is developing in real time, I gotta pass the question off to you. What are your thoughts with all this? Whether it be specifically about his disgusting comments, his apology, or the bans or the calls for them.
Yeah, and then you got to call into question like the platforms, you know, and just how far they'll go in terms of freedom of speech. And, you know, what he said, I don't agree with. You know, you can't classify an entire people by a few religious zealots and extremists, you know, which is, let's face it, that's what legacy media in America has done for decades up to this point, until about 2015 when the whole fucking atmosphere changed on how we get our news. Right? I mean, that's exactly how legacy media portrayed Palestine to be. And that's probably where Asmongold's pulling that from. Quite literally, you know, because that's in the 80s and the 90s, that's what we were taught about Palestine, that everybody is like a religious zealot, everybody's out for blood, you know, and I feel like Asmongold's pulling those comments from all that. I don't truly know what's going on in Palestine, but I would never call an entire country of people like inferior. There's going to be people there that have some fucking common sense because human. And there's going to be some fucking idiots too. But, you know, then you also have to question is like, even though what he said I don't agree with, what platforms are going to just give him the opportunity to say those things and give him the freedom of speech to say those things, even if some people might not agree with him, like myself. You know, as we can see, some of these platforms are like, no, you know, so I don't know. I don't like to get involved in these talks. Like, frankly, I like to chill. I like to lay back. I like to be in areas where, you know, I can relax. My advice to people, it's this: be good to others. You know, try to look at the positive in people, period. No matter what country they're from, just try to look at the positive in people, period. No matter what country they're from. No one, we're not gonna get to this next level if we don't all start being more positive. You know what I'm saying? Like, and it's crazy. So now I want to see what Asmon has to say. I see a lot of fart emoticons. Mad style. I see what you did there. I'm seeing a lot of next. I'm seeing a lot of fart emoticons. And I want to see what Asmon has to say now. Look at Asmon. What is he wearing? A suit? Hold on. Is this a suit? It's a hoodie.
Hey guys, I wanted to talk to you all about
this is very formal Asmon. I feel like he's wearing a tuxedo right now. I feel like this is some very formal situation at Asmon. What is he? He's got like a ponytail.
what my reason was for getting suspended on Twitch, and also what my plans are going forward. I'm going to try and structure this video into two parts, where the first part is going to be me talking about the Twitch suspension, second part is going to be talking about myself. And the first thing I want to start off with is something that I know it might sound a little bit insincere because of how ridiculous this is, but I really mean it, and if you listen to the whole video, I hope you can see why. Everybody who's come and spoken out and talked to me and said stuff about me, you know, aside from the, oh, you should kill yourself or something like that, I want to say that I really appreciate you. And I think this has been something that's a long time coming. And I actually think that this is something that not only I deserved, but it's also something that I needed. And
I see a lot of people that don't want this this morning, but listen to me. I've watched Asmon for a very long time. And this hits in a way that's interesting because, you know, I have been shadow banned now for a couple weeks because of some copyright issues from a guy named VLDL who's got like 4 million subscribers. And I am on the end of like YouTube jail right now. And so like anytime somebody's getting like shadow banned, deplatformed, or anytime somebody like some fucking corpos come down on people, this type of topic interests me as of late. In fact, my mother, because I was bitching about it this morning, my mother stopped by and she dropped off some coffee, which was super nice of her, and a McGriddle, which I love. She knows I love McGriddles, soft, spongy pancakes with a sausage and egg delight in the middle. The only thing that I really love from McDonald's. And she dropped that off. You can still hear the phlegm from the McGriddle, which is lovely in the throat. And I was like, thank you, Mother. And I told her about my trials and tribulations of what I'm going through and how my channel's dead. Like if you go to DG360 right now, you can see YouTube. You can see all my views right now have just been suppressed. Everything is like 100. McPhlem, right, backspaced. I got McPhlem in my throat. I'm sorry about that. Everything is like suppressed on my channel. I'm barely even getting 100 views now. It's so very blatant. It's so very obvious what YouTube is doing. It's so very heinous. And this VLDL completely destroyed my livelihood and has not responded to my emails. 4 emails. Hasn't even had the common courtesy as a human being to reply to any of them. And I'm really pissed off about it because it completely sets me back. 10 years of building a channel, 20,000 some subscribers. It was a lot of hard work. I'm not blessed like a lot of these people like Asmon and just get blessed by YouTube. And I'm in a shadow ban period, and it hurts. It hurts because like I have to find out other ways to make money, which takes me away from everybody here. And my mother this morning, I told her, you know, she asked me because she knows what's going on. She's like, well, how's everything going? I said, horrible. I go, my YouTube channel's basically dead. After 5 weeks of going through this, there is still another 7 weeks to go. I'm like, I'm pretty sure the channel's dead. Like, I'm pretty sure everything that took me 10 years to build up is completely dead because of this Z Frank guy. And she said, fuck Z Frank. And I was like, yes, you're not going to hate me. Yes. My mother does not swear a lot. So when she says fuck, it's like, whoa, mom. Like, what? Wow. So I thank you, moms, for saying fuck Z Frank. And fuck Z Frank, you know, quite literally. So I'm really into these platform kind of issues where the platforms come down and they fuck with you. Now, in this instance, granted, I will say that I think it's deserved. You don't take a whole country of people and then just define them by a few religious zealots, you know.
And I want to talk about what the reason for that is, but I want to start off and just make sure that that's actually very clear. So a couple of days ago, I made some comments about Palestine and also about Hamas and, you know, some just general, you know, basically opinions that were trivializing the genocide that's happening there. And I don't really want to like mince words or like try to like, oh, I wasn't justifying or, you know, promoting it. I said something about it that was disgusting. I said that I didn't care about innocent people getting killed by another force, by anything. And I think that that's a horrible, disgusting, mean-spirited thing to say. And I don't necessarily think that it was really racist, really, but when I'm using language like Palestinians or like the people there, rather than what my real language was, I've always been very outspoken and very against religious extremism, and I still am. I think that any religion and any way of thinking that's going to cause you to put other people in like kind of positions below you as like, you know, like gay people, women, people with disabilities, anything like that.
See, this is super rational. This is why I like Asmon. He looked at what he had said. He said these people and grouped an entire country of people as being religious zealots. He knows better. And this is the thing that people really got to understand. Asmongold, people like myself that are on stream, we're human beings. We get tired. Sometimes we just assume that people know that we're like, he probably just thought that, you know, everybody was on his same page, that he was talking about Hamas. And, you know, at least that's where I'm hoping his brain was. But like by his language, it seems like that he was talking about the entire country. So, you know, he's actually admitting right now that his language, how he used his language is disgusting. And he's right. It's not easy to be on a stream for hours at a time. This dude streams like 5 times more than I do. This guy's on for like 12 to 16 hours out of the fucking day. You know? I'm on for like, what, 6 or 7 hours? And it's like... like it takes a lot of energy. It's not easy to do this.
I think that that's a really bad position to have, and I really don't like that. And I think that my problem and my fault here was that I was making a criticism of religious extremism, and I made no effort. And I feel like almost I've rewatched the clip, right, or a number of the clips, and it's like I've almost made an effort not to draw a distinction between the two things. I think that a lot of us here can easily say that we're against religious extremism, and I am. But whenever I categorize everybody in the area as this like group, then I'm the asshole. And I was the asshole. I had a lot of you guys tell me that. And it's taken me, this is what's so crazy about it, is that I think this has been going on now for like 2 years. I think that I've been slowly devolving into the most mean-spirited, I don't really even know what the word is for it.
He's in the culture. He's literally living in the internet. That's what he's been doing. His channel direction has been mostly content that's directed at Reddit, which we all know what a toxic waste dump that is. His chat is ridiculous. Like his chat basically simp for Asmon, which is hilarious. Whatever Asmon says, usually like his chat's like, yeah, Asmon. You know, it's become like his own kind of circus. And, you know, he's been absorbed in that for years now. And he's talking about political issues, and he's expanded it from gaming to just basically reacting to everything. And so, you know, he's absorbed in this toxicity all day long. So I like the route that Asmon's going here. He's taking accountability. He's apologizing for his actions, and he's realizing the atmosphere that he's been in, and how it's affected him. This is all healthy. This is all rational.
Just like the most mean-spirited, rude, like nasty, like just callous, psychopathic version of myself. I think that I've been devolving into this.
This is why I like this guy too.
And a lot of my friends have told me this. My dad has told me this. He said, you've got to chill out. You've got to calm down. I've been like, oh, that old man doesn't know what he's talking.
No, he's got to go out and touch some grass. He's got to go live a little bit. You know, like he's in his room all the time. We just watched a cartoon from some Canadian dude that I love, and we've seen a couple of the tunes from this guy, and it was really funny. And it was an Asmongold tune that was really funny about his room and how messy it is. And like, here's the thing: he does need to go out. He has been going out recently, and he's been on this podcast. What's it called? Steak and Eggs or something of that nature. I've watched it a couple times. I really like it. The girl on there is hilarious. Oh God, what is her name? I love her.
Talking about, and I've finally had.
And look at his room. It looks a little bit cleaner. Is he cleaning his room?
Some level of accountability
for that. Is that her name? Yeah, I love her.
And
she is so God. Cute and funny.
I look back at some of the things that I've said and done over the past 2 years, and I don't think that I've been wrong about everything, obviously, right? But there have been ways that I've communicated and ways that I've acted that are indefensible. And I think looking back on it, it's just disgusting. And it's something that when you get lost in the sauce and you get fixated around like listening and reading feedback and, you know, just getting hyper fixated, this is like your entire life, you lose a perspective on reality, and you lose a perspective on the world. And I think that perspective was brought into perspective yesterday and the day before, when I was making comments like this. And I feel so stupid. It's crazy. So I'm getting all these people making negative comments toward me. Everybody is telling me like, oh, go kill yourself, I hate you, everything like this. Do you know who reached out to me? And they wanted to talk and have a conversation and see if I was okay. It's people that were Islamic and people that had fucking family in Palestine.
Wow, that is fucking awesome. That's what it takes, people, right? That's what I'm talking about. The positivity in people, realizing that people are people no matter what country they're from, realizing that they're people. People are not the authoritative government. People are not the religious zealots. People are just people. There's people who are living in environments that are horrible, and they're that way because of the extremism of their government, of their religion. They're living there, dealing with it, and they're not part of it. There are so many people out there, and these are the people that are contacting Asmon. Actual fucking people. That's why I want people to understand that we have a very limited idea of what it is like to be in another country. Unless you've actually been there and spend some time there with the people, you don't really know. This is why I love watching channels like Food Ranger, where, what's his name? I think his name's Trent. I can't remember his name. I love Food Ranger. Food Ranger goes to other countries. He talks to people. And Zio, some kid who speaks like a bajillion different languages, who goes to other countries, and you know, he's going to China and he's telling people that he's American, and the Chinese people are like, whoa, what the fuck? This is why I love people that actually insert themselves into the world and become representatives and show that all in all, no matter what country you're from, people are people. There are plenty of just people out there. They aren't their authoritative government. They aren't the religious fucking extremists. They're just people. and we have to get to that point as a species. these lines, these imaginary lines that we draw, these countries, and here's where our country ends and yours begins. All these things are to contain the culture, the culture. They're like to retain the culture. Governments come in to protect that culture in whatever form the government takes its fucking format, right? Some of those formats are questionable. A lot of them actually are. And we have to kind of erase the lines a little bit and just be like, okay, people. When we get attacked by aliens, if that ever happens, you watch those lines disappear. The line becomes the earth. All these little lines that make us like, if we got attacked by aliens, there would be no lines. The lines would be a circle. We'd be like, Earth. Isn't it sad to think that it would take an alien invasion to unite us? Isn't that the saddest thing? Shouldn't we be able to do that without an alien invasion?
And how humiliating is that?
And yes, to be yes, you are correct, Maddie. Let me I'm not even going to restructure my last comment, but Maddie is correct. A lot of national lines don't represent cultural geographical boundaries. You are correct. This is my limited use of the English language. I'm just trying to say that these lines represent, I want to say like a protectionist kind of vibes of resources and the people that live within those lines. Take it for what it is. It could be right or wrong. This is just my opinions, Maddie. By the way, Maddie, hold on a second. Maddie's here. Maddie, I'm mad about you, Maddie. I am mad about you, and I'm mad about what you said.
Absolutely humiliating is that. And these were the people I was trying to say were bad. And I feel like such a fucking stupid asshole.
Okay, good. There you go. Okay, good on Asmon. There you go. There's the fucking apology. I believe he's being sincere. And there's some personal growth being shown here. And this is why I continue to watch Asmon. He understands the situation he was in. He understands what he said was a mistake. He grouped the entire country and just basically said, oh, the entire country are religious zealots. And, and they're not. And Palestinians reached out to Asmon and asked if he was okay. The compassion, beautiful, humanity, positivity, love.